How is it that you're able to keep stuff so lively? I mean, is it just the hunter's aspect of trying to get a 1 in 45,936 Shaco drop, or are you, aiming for something else? What is it that keeps you so new every time you do a stream or an episode?
Yeah, dude, that's a great question, man. Basically, I really like doing challenges. Setting myself a challenge and then trying to do it. I find that really fun. It keeps the old game super fresh. Now the problem is that Llama has done every single challenge in existence. So basically, I'm just copying stuff that other content creators do, but doing it, inordinately slowly. Yeah.
But
Except
you know
I don't
what?
know, Bob, if anyone's done a 1 to declone while farming the SOJ. I know people have gone 1 to declone with an SOJ in the stash, but I haven't seen it before. But I'm also scared to look it up just in case someone has done it.
You know what? But here's yeah, I'll put your mind at ease with something like that. Now, maybe it's a different way of looking at it, but it's just the way I see it. Just because Jimi Hendrix played a guitar and he played it well doesn't mean that other guitarists shouldn't come along and play guitar. So just because Mr. Llama's done some challenges, or Sweet Phil, or your hero, your twist on things, your flavor on things can make it. There's more than one person that can do the same challenge and put their own spin on it. So just because Eddie Van Halen existed doesn't mean that someone else shouldn't pick it up and try.
Yeah, for sure. And a lot of the challenges that are really exciting to me are ones that are like a little bit out of reach, from my skill set. Like the one we did a couple of days ago was the sorceress 1 to Ubers. And taking down Ubers as a sorceress when you have like bad gear is like pretty challenging. That took every single brain cell I had spare. Yeah.
And we've got one of our channel members here, MTG Hillbilly, who's just started playing some Diablo 2. Do you have any beginner's tips to somebody who's just getting into the game? You played
or just returning
hours. Do you have a suggestion on maybe a starter class or some easy tips and tricks not to get lost with the Tetris of the inventory system?
Yeah, man. Firstly, welcome to the rest of your life. I'm so excited for you. I wish we could swap places. Beginner's tips. Okay, I think that deciding on a build beforehand is probably a good idea. And then there are some really good builds for beginners. I would say a Trap Assassin is probably a really good one. Like going into Wake of Fire, that's a really good one. It's got a very chillax, chill play style. It's very my brand. I think a Javazon is also a really fun, good starter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it makes sense.
And then what else? Do you guys have any other good starter builds?
Well, it looks
maybe
like
an elemental druid.
that summon druid. Interesting, Warf. That's a.
I disagree. I'd say you go with one of the top three, to be quite honest. Otherwise, I think your play experience by the time you get to hell, and hopefully you'll stick with it. First of all, I would recommend starting at the beginning of a season because you're going to find a lot more players online, which will help you kind of run through areas no matter what shitty job you do or class you do. Starting at the beginning of a season, you have this big, massive, I'm going to call it like a bulge of people that start out and they're running through things, they're leveling up as groups, they can help you go through things to get exposure to it. But I agree, Paladin, hammered in, and I saw your comment there about not leaving Diablo's horn on the floor to expand.
Do you think that a new player should get into ladder seasons, or should just get, do the regular single player playthrough? Do you think that the
seasons
play it however you want to play it, whatever you're drawn to? I mean, seasons is great because you can play with other people, they can carry you. And also, nowadays on ladder, I swear to God, it wasn't like this when I was a kid. Everyone's so nice online.
Yep. Oh, that definitely, it was not like that when we were children. No, I was
just
very mean to everybody.
Yeah. Without even asking, people are just like, hey, man, do you want to rush? I used to have to sell my
or here's a free
child
Annie
to get a rush. Yeah,
Richie, that's a heck of a quote. There's no wrong way to eat a Reese's. I think that's a phenomenal example of
I kind of agree with coffee enthusiasts there, where you're saying, well, those kids that were assholes and trying to figure every way to steal something from you, all grew up.
Yeah, they're you guys now.
Yeah. So, no, I'm kind of curious though how you got started, because I haven't heard your genesis story about starting online. Because if you don't mind me saying for the audience here, and and maybe you can clarify some of this, but from the Bob perspective, he was on the fairly solid track early in life. He's been to college and went to vet school and decided that not for him. Let's play video games instead. I'm kind of curious how that transition and twist in immersion for you came to be.
Yeah, man. So I spent, after high school, I spent 8 years in uni. I spent a year doing something completely different. And then I did my undergraduate in animal and veterinary bioscience. And then I did a 4-year postgrad in a doctor of veterinary medicine. And then I worked as 2 years as a vet. And I was just got to a point where I was like, you know what? Screw this. I'm miserable. I'm stressed out all the time. I really didn't figure out a way to manage like leaving work at work. I would just take everything home with me. Like I couldn't sleep through the night. I would just wake up just anxious, like worried about patients. Is that dog dead? And I was like, I don't want to do this. So I quit. I quit and I was doing nothing. I was down in the dumps. I just spent 8 years studying for something and it didn't work out. And I felt like I'd lost it all. I really did. I obviously hadn't, right? I obviously hadn't. I still had my friends and my family and my roof and a roof over my head, but it felt like that. And so I was like, well, I got to do something, right? And I was really inspired when I first saw Dobrunsky back in the day. I remember the first time I saw a Dobrunsky video.
Name dropper, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Without Dobrunsky, there wouldn't be a Schmuck, for better or for worse. But I remember the first time I saw Dobrunsky and I was like, no way. He did that 1,000 times. He collected 100 unique rings. This guy's a maniac. I love it. So I remember really being inspired by that. And I was kind of like, hold up, wait a minute. I could do that. I've got a computer, right? I've got like a space where I could film it in. So I went and bought a shitty webcam and the microphone, the shitty microphone that I'm still using today. And I just started making videos. And like I didn't go into it thinking people would watch. But I figured at the very least, I would learn some skills about like video creation, right? I could upskill a little bit, like learn about editing and maybe a bit of Photoshop stuff. But after that, I was a little weasel for a couple of videos and posted it on the Diablo subreddits with the most clickbaity title. Like, you won't believe what I found on run 470. Would have been so annoying.
What did you find?
But people started watching, and then I was like, wait, it really felt like this was this one little bit of joy that I had in my life was making videos, and I just clung onto it, and I never let go. Yeah.
Well, I think that comes through.
There's my sob story for you. So